Hey, what's up, everyone? Brad here from Creative Practice. And today in this video, I'm going to be talking about how you can grow your practice using my 6 stages of what I call the patient success journey. Now, one of the most important parts of a successful practice is understanding and implementing your practice around the patient success journey. Now, what the patient success journey is essentially the pathway that people come into your practice, hear about your practice, and go into courses of care, plans of care, treatment plans, that kind of thing, and then end up getting discharged or going into maintenance plans, ascension services, whatever it is. So essentially, the entire process from A to Z about when a person first hears about you until they become a patient and onwards. Now, having a well-defined, mapped out, and tracked patient journey is a key fundamental as to why your practice is business in the first place. And having a deep understanding of each one of the stages is even more key to having a successful, sustainable practice filled with patients that you really love treating and that are going to stay, pay, and refer. Now, if you haven't mapped out your journey yet for your patient success, this is going to be a foundational component to transform your practice. And if you've already done this, it's a great opportunity to refine and optimize. I generally look at a monthly and quarterly basis, how well we're doing, what are our key performance indicators at each one of these stages, and make the adjustments needed if needed, or where can we improve. So before we get started, it's important to note, again, that the patient success journey starts well before the patient schedules the first appointment. This is a really important detail because a lot of people think that, once people reach out to you, then that's when it starts. Well, the process actually starts when they first hear about your business or service, which is why having the right marketing messaging and positioning within your community, as well as your offers, are a critical part to your overall practice success in attracting the right people. How a prospective patient views your services and your business can be a critical factor in their decision-making process in choosing your business over a potential competitor service, such as different type of practitioner, a product such as painkillers or foam rollers, or really just simply doing nothing at all. So at this stage, refining your marketing message and community positioning along with your other offers to make sure the prospective patient understands all solutions that your service provides is critical. And I don't mean just listing out, hey, I help with frozen shoulder and back pain and shoulder pain and ankle, but like the actual outcomes and the results that these people are looking for. So for prospective patients who are already ready to schedule right away, the initial eval is often easy enough for them to take action in terms of an offer. We refer to these as like hot prospects because these people are already looking for a solution to the problem and they're ready to take action on it. This is approximately 15% of prospects that will turn into these buyers right away. A larger group of prospecting patients who are not quite ready to schedule yet may need a different type of offer, for example, to know more about your services, how you can help them, what the differentiating factor is, how your service or modalities or treatment process is different than someone else, if you have experience in treating their specific condition or problem, and how really you would be a good fit for them. This is generally between like 35 and 45% of people who are reaching out. So offering these prospects, an initial discovery call or a discovery visit or phone call or something along those lines is generally a better way to build some trust, answer any questions that they have, and to move them to the next step with you. I call these prospects warm prospects. They know they have a problem, but they're not quite sure who the best fit is. They maybe had some problems in the past with, not getting results from past practitioners or trying these other kind of things. So there's a bit of natural skepticism there compared to the hot prospects. So lastly, the largest segment of your prospective patients are what we call like cold. These prospects are patients who largely do not understand if or how you can even help them, and they have preconceived ideas about what your service are. So, for example, there's lots of people who think, for example, massage therapy, oh, that's just for rich people to relax and that kind of thing. There's no medical sort of purpose behind it. Or I can't go see a chiropractor because they're going to crack my neck. Or a physical therapist, yeah, they just they see you for 15 minutes and just charge a high price and give you some exercise and move you on. The reality is that these prospects, they're higher skepticism. They don't understand the options available to them. So they need a little bit more understanding of what you are offering them. So we need to create different offers here. Again, I can have some sort of call with them. I can download reports, webinars on specific topics such as back pain or whatever may be specific to them, sports injury, that kind of thing. Those are types of things that I have a lot of success with. And from a marketing world, because I get a lot of questions on this, video view ads, for example, like on Facebook or YouTube, are great ways to be able to grab these people and start educating them and warm them up into hot prospects from where they are as being cold. So ensuring that you have different offers at the lead stage, which is that first stage of our patient success journey, is critically important, because if we don't, we're not going to capture as many leads. Now, the next stage that we've got with our patient journey is managing all of these inquiries. So now that we've got leads, we've got people requesting appointments, we've got people booking in, we've got people downloading reports, that kind of thing, is what we call triage. So triage is the second step in your journey, the patient success journey, that allows you to be able to understand a little bit better about what this prospect is, if and how you can best help them, to what capacity, build a bit of relationship and preeminence with them. So I always like to triage people first, because I want to have a communication with them. Number one, I'm charging higher rates than the average practice in the area by 2, 3, maybe 5 times more. So I want to be able to make sure that this person understands why that is, and we're also relating with them on a deeper level. A lot of people, when they have a phone call, they're trying to book someone in right away. What insurance do you take? What problem do you have? Okay, let's book you in. I got next week available, whatever. There's not much customer service there. So triage is actually a big part where you get to communicate with these people and set the expectation. What are the next steps in the relationship? So for example, I'm going to pre-frame, like, we do plans of care and maintenance plans of care and whatever services you may be having in relation to the outcomes that they have. Now, in this video, we're not going to go through the details of every single one, but the triage is critically important. And if you're driving people to just booking into your calendar right away without having any communication, it's a critical error. I would not do that unless you're a high volume based clinic, in which most of the people who are listening to this video are probably not running. So if you are doing high volume, then it can work in that scenario. But if you're creating cash pay or private niche based clinic, you definitely don't want to be able to make sure that people can just book in whatever they want. We want to have some sort of communication. That could be an appointment request where we reach out to them in order to book. But I generally don't recommend you booking straight into that, because you're going to have a lot of drop-offs. You're going to have people no-showing you. You're going to have cancellations and all sorts of potential problems there. Now, stage 3 in the patient success journey is the initial evaluation. In this stage, the patient has scheduled with you to help them solve a specific problem. For example, pain relief, increased range of motion, better flexibility for golf, whatever that might be. Now, during this initial eval, it's critically important that we take a complete picture of the patient, including an in-depth health history assessment, to ensure that we're getting to the root cause of this chief complaint, followed by a custom tailored treatment based off of that assessment, so we can address the specific issues, get them some relief, and so on. And lastly, it's a plan of care. And this is a huge component that a lot of people miss, is pre-framing the plan of care to ensure that the patient is able to get long-term relief, prevent further issues from going on, or achieving other specific goals. In my experience, many therapists skip the treatment plan and leave the rebooking directly on the prospective patient. And this may be because maybe they're too nervous, they're feeling salesy, not having the skill sets, or just simply too busy to go in the details, or pushing it on to a front desk person. And unfortunately, the patient loses in this scenario because they're not educated on what the next best steps are, and often not having a clear documented plan of care is going to set them up for failure. When you do have a clear documented plan of care, it allows the patient to have clarity in terms of what they need in order to get resolve to their issue and improve the issues that they originally came in for. So that way they're going to be able to obviously get better results. They're going to be more open to referring people, sharing their experience, that kind of thing. Typically, most of the patients are going to come in for between 4 and kind of 8 weeks, depending on their condition. And if you're not advising like a plan of care now, based on those desired outcomes, you want to begin incorporating this, because rebookings will happen consistently and patient compliance will massively skyrocket. You won't have drop-offs and that kind of thing when you have that in place. So the fourth stage in the patient journey is what we call the plan of care. And the plan of care is the whole purpose here is to address the initial issue as to why the patient came to see you in the first place. For example, if a patient reaches out to you regarding their shoulder pain after playing volleyball, their main goal is to overcome the pain, improve their range of motion, and get back to playing the sport they love. During your treatment, you discovered that they had a shoulder impingement and strain, which you provided a 6-week plan of care. Seeing you one appointment per week as you go through the initial plan, the treatment is working better. You might reduce the amount of sessions that they're coming to see you for, or if it's not working as well, you might refer out to someone else. But it's important to have the plan of care around that initial issue that they are dealing with, because that plan of care is important in having the patient understand the process of what their recovery or performance improving will be. And when the patient will understands the frequency of treatments, timelines, the homework, what's from them, what results that they should be getting, they're more likely to be compliant and active in the process of healing. And a lot of practitioners that I talk to get stuck with this because they don't tell people what they need to do. And the practitioner is always like, man, they're not doing their homework or whatever. And the reality is they didn't really explain as to why. So if you're not advising on a plan of care based on desired outcomes and telling people specifically what they need, in order to get these results, you need to start incorporating this now, because rebookings are going to, increase, which means that people are going to get better results. They're going to refer more people to you and so on. So the next stage of the patient journey is what I call maintenance plan of care. And the maintenance plan of care is extremely important because the majority of people are going to do activities that create imbalances and other, unpleasantness and injuries and that kind of stuff, especially if they're active or athletic style patients. So the purpose of the maintenance plan of care is to make sure that we prevent any further issues from going on and optimize our current state. A lot of people will have further goals that they want to achieve. They may, especially if they're athletic, that they're going to push themselves towards. So unlike the plan of care that's addressing the initial issue, the maintenance plan of care allows you to help the patient understand and stay on top of future issues, so that way they don't have this massive breakdown or suffer a severe injury that they have to go back to a plan of care. So what we want to make sure that we're doing is having patients understand that the maintenance plan of care is a part of the healing journey, and they're going to be able to maintain where they are, prevent any future issues. From a business perspective, you're getting a patient who is understanding, compliant, and they are into your pipeline. So it's going to keep your schedule fuller, longer, if you have people who are benefiting from your services. And majority of practitioners I speak to, they have people, when we do reactivations and follow-ups and stuff, where people end up having another injury, but because they didn't have a maintenance plan of care, not only are they losing that income and people on the schedule, but they also are leaving these patients to maybe find someone else. And a lot of the time, people will come to you for an initial issue, shoulder pain, and they don't realize that you could help them with your knee pain. So they'll go see someone else. So that's why it's critically important to be able to do a maintenance plan of care. And a large majority, around like 45% of continued revenue in most clinics can come from this maintenance plan of care. So it's very important to have that. Now, one thing that's really important at the maintenance plan of care is ideally someone's going to be staying into your world. But a big thing that people miss is that there is one more step that brings us from the maintenance plan back up to lead, and that is referrals. So it's up to 12 to 15 times more expensive, depending on your niche of healthcare, to obtain a new patient than it is just to retain an old one. So referrals obviously can dramatically reduce this cost, your advertising cost, your cost per lead, acquisition costs, and improve your profitability. So the reality is that most practice owners don't have a system or strategy for consistently bringing in new referrals from satisfied patients, either through plans of care or maintenance plans of care. So that's why in the patient success journey, we always detail a referral back up, because that indicates that we've got a good result, and it starts the process out, so that way you have a self-sustaining pipeline and you're not going to have inconsistencies in schedule. So when you receive a referral from a happy patient, the referral, essentially kicks off the first stage of the patient journey, the lead, and that lead books an appointment. The cycle continues, they refer people and that kind of thing. So the process of systemizing consistent referrals, decreasing your patient acquisition costs and your profitability is critically important to having plans of care completed, maintenance plans of care active, and getting referrals. So I generally get around like 15, 20%, 25% sometimes of systemized referrals plus maintenance plans of care in, meaning you don't need to get that many patients coming in because people are staying longer, they're getting better results, they're referring people to you. So it's a significantly more profitable way and more fulfilling way to do business rather than just having to constantly focus on new patients. So having this documented patient success journey allows you to optimize the communications needed at each one of these stages so that the patient can successfully transfer from one stage to the next stage, ensuring that they get results if they're the right fit for your business. And making sure that from a business perspective, you're providing the best experience and service possible and tracking which stage and KPIs that these prospects and patients are in is going to be really important to returning consistency in your profitability, your schedule, whether it's you or you've got a team of people for bookings, and overall just having a more efficient, leaner business that's going to consistently grow and become a better asset in the community over time than just trying to do a one-off based approach. So if you guys want more information about how you can implement your patient success journey here, I've created a workshop where you can access down below. And if you're on my site or my page, you should be able to click a button down around here somewhere to access the actual sheets that you can fill in and build out your patient success journey if you don't have it already. And if you're at the stage saying, hey, you know what, this is a lot of stuff, I want someone to maybe help me with this, then make sure that you comment below. And if you're on my site or page, you can click in and around this video somewhere. There'll be a offer for you to jump on a quick call with us. We'll map out the patient journey together. We'll talk a little bit about what's working right now, what's not working, that needs to be optimized, and what's missing, and then give you a little bit of insight. Whether you work with us or not, you'll have a lot more insight in terms of taking the patient success journey and crafting it specifically for your business.